Hi, Taylor Tutored team. Oh my god, the alliteration in that is quite mind-boggling. So I've only got 5 minutes to do this. I'm going to try and make it as concise as possible. Before I dive right into the questions, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Evie Rodriguez. I have a YouTube channel of which I got an Instagram DM about from you guys that informed me about this whole brand ambassador competition thing. So thanks, otherwise I wouldn't be here, so I appreciate it. I'm going into year 12 now and I'm taking maths, the subject at hand, and English literature, economics, Spanish. That's a nice juicy mix. Anyway, let's get into the questions now. What motivates you to do well in year 12? Well, I guess the difference between like year 12 and GCSEs would be, obviously I got to pick the subjects and I can focus more on what I like compared to what I don't like quite as much. Hint, hint. The sciences. So like I dropped those and now I can finally focus on something that I enjoy doing, so I guess that's motivating, but that's more of a short-term motivation. Long-term, probably the prospect of having a great A-level results day and then hopefully using these grades to take me further. But for the time being, I'll focus on enjoying the subjects. Question 2. What do you want to do after sixth form? Right. To be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure on this, because if I think back to the person I was like a year ago, I'm literally completely different. So thinking ahead 2 years time, I'm probably going to be completely different, so I can't really predict what I'm going to want to do. But I know for a fact that I want to go to university, and I also know that I want to either go into the finance and economics route, because that interests me, or the law route, but I'm still balancing our two options right now, so we'll see where that goes. If we're talking after university, I'd want a job involving the degree I previously studied. What's my favourite place to study? Now this might just be the blandest answer that you're gonna get, but my bedroom, my desk. Oh, is it raining? I guess we better speed up. Yeah, that's pretty basic. My desk has comfort and everything I need, so there's pretty much not a better spot for me. D, my favourite study snack. Now, you thought my last answer was bland? Well, my answer to this is water. Water, right. I mean, I did want to try out all of those fun revision hacks where you would put a gummy bear at the end of like every paragraph as you're reading, and then when you finish the paragraph, you eat the gummy bear as a reward for staying focused. But I've just never gotten around to doing that because gummy bears are unhealthy. Next question. If you were to ascribe a spirit animal to your study habits, what would you be? Ooh, that's a fun question. I'd probably go with a cheetah because much like how a cheetah runs, they run for a short period of time, but real fast. So I guess that's just how I do it. I sit down, I do my short bursts of intense study, and then after I can have a break. And then I'm back on the run, just like a cheetah. I guess that's a good way of describing it. What's the best piece of advice for students doing GCSEs this year? Revise for mocks. If I didn't revise for my physics mock, I would have spent so much more time the night before the physics GCSE and I would have felt so much less confident, because revising 3 months in advance and getting your brain to understand the content, and then you can leave it for like 2 months time, come back to it, and you're good to go. It all kind of just comes flooding back in, especially if you're using the same revision resources, because you kind of just remember the flow of the topics, and I think it's really helpful. So that's my number one piece of advice. Also, don't pull all-nighters. That's my other piece of advice. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but don't pull all-nighters. Sleep's important. Last question, have I used TT in the past? If so, why haven't I bought it yet? I have not used TT in the past. I actually didn't know that it was available for GCSE. I thought it was only an A-level thing. I just never heard of Taylor Tutored at the time. Now that I'm looking through it, it seems like it'll be so helpful with my maths A-level because I know how hard it may be. But it just never crossed my mind at GCSE. I just never heard of it. So thanks for popping up into my DM. I guess my A-level's in your hands now. Okay, that's all. I hope I did this right. Thanks for considering me. A moth just covered the camera. Bye.